I heard that Ms. Craig has described your particular project here as being healthy and gross at the same time.
Yeah, so basically she's talking about the fact that our tank is thriving a lot, like we have a lot of activity going on in there. And if you just look at it, it's not a very clear water. It's very murky and kind of gross. It doesn't smell very good either.
Hello and welcome to the Supercast. I'm your host, Superintendent Anthony Godfrey. They are less than an inch long, weigh mere grams, and move incredibly slowly with average speeds of 0.03 miles per hour. We are talking about snails, a soft-bodied mollusk in a class called Gastropoda. On this episode of the Supercast, we take you to an advanced placement biology class at Mountain Ridge High School, where small snails are having a big impact on students studying the ecosystem. Find out the role snails are playing in the AP course and how the class is capitalizing on the snail-based learning. We're talking now with Ms. Craig here at Mountain Ridge High School about her AP Environmental Science class. Thanks for taking a few minutes with us.
Yeah, of course, anytime. Thanks for coming out.
Tell us about the project that has been going on and what's happening today with the students.
So in AP Environmental Science, we're learning about the biogeochemical cycles. So things like carbon and nitrogen and phosphorus and water cycles. And we started this project 6 weeks ago. So each group got a little aquatic habitat, and each group got between 6 and 8 snails, depending on the group. And they've just been monitoring the nutrients, keeping track of dissolved oxygen, trying to keep their snail habitats as healthy as possible for the last 6 weeks.
And so they've had to test hypotheses and figure out how exactly to do that.
Yes. So each group, after the 2-week period, after we collected some baseline data, each group made a modification to their tank. So they changed something that would impact the nutrient cycle. And then we continued to collect data for 4 more weeks so that they could see how that change impacted the lifestyle of the snails.
The only cycle that I really caught was the water cycle.
Yes.
So all of these different cycles, the phosphorus cycle, was that one of them as well?
Yes.
So all of these cycles are aspects of environmental science that they'll be tested on as part of the AP test.
Exactly. Yep.
Tell me about some of those other cycles. The water cycle I'm familiar with, but tell me about some of the others.
Nitrogen and phosphorus are critical nutrients that every living thing needs in order to be able to survive. It's part of your DNA. It's used in cellular functions. So we're measuring those critical nutrients. We're measuring dissolved oxygen levels as well, which can help us keep track of the rate of photosynthesis and respiration rates and how well the overall quality of the water.
Tell me about what's happening now today. They've each had their individual biome where they've been experimenting, adding different factors into the environment to see how it impacts the snails. What happens now? They're combining everything together, and what is that going to demonstrate to the students?
So basically, we've had a few unfortunate fatalities, and some of the water is getting kind of murky. There are no filters on these biomes. So at this point, after the 6 weeks is over, we're going to combine them into one big habitat. We're going to put a filter on there. And then I have some students that are interested in earning their Sentinel Service Hours Diploma, which is 80 service hours outside of school time.
Okay.
And they have volunteered to monitor the snails and try to keep that bigger tank as healthy as possible.
So the snails who were part of the experiment now get to live on in a more regulated community environment.
Yes, they're moving on up. They'll be living in a mansion. They'll have maid service that'll come and take care of their water and clean it and everything.
The survivors now get the reward of having the better environment.
Yes.
And is this something that you've done in years past?
So this is only my second year teaching this class, and I did do this experiment for the first time last year, and this is the second time.
And how did the mansion stage of the snail experiment go last time?
It was pretty good. We didn't have as many snails to begin with, but some of the snails survived long enough that I had to rehome them over the summer.
Oh, so they made it through the entire school year.
Yeah, some of them made it through the entire school year.
And how exactly does one rehome a snail?
Well, you make friends with middle school teachers.
Okay, and you help persuade them of the varied uses they might have for these snails.
Oh, they were excited to have them. They're like, oh, snails clean my tank. Yes, I'd love to take them.
Oh, great. Okay, so snails with a purpose.
Yes.
I love that. What is there a particular variety of snail that you're dealing with here? What exactly, just so for folks who might say, I wonder what kind of snail that is. I need to Google that.
Yeah, so we had two different varieties of snails. We had pond snails, which our principal lovingly refers to as swamp snails. And then we also have the mystery snails, so they're the bigger ones that you can really see them moving around. Their antennae come out, and they're a lot more active and fun to watch.
The mystery snails.
Mystery snails.
Is that the actual term for them?
There's a scientific name for them, but if you go shopping for them, you'll want to look for mystery snails.
Mystery snails.
Yes.
Wow, okay. Snails with something to hide.
Yes.
Now, tell me just about AP Environmental Science overall. What do you hope, besides trying to do well on the test, which is important, what do you hope students take away from this class?
For me, the environment has always been something that I felt very passionate about, especially living here in Utah. With our air quality and the Great Salt Lake levels diminishing, I feel like it's really important that we train some students to be able to work towards solving some of these problems and tackling some of these tough issues.
And with some know-how and with experiments that teach them that they can figure things out, perhaps that will be the result.
I hope so.
Maybe these students and these snails can solve those problems. I'd love to have those problems fixed.
Yes, I would too. And I know these students are really, really bright and capable, and they're passionate about what they're doing. So I have the ultimate confidence in their abilities.
Now, you say you've taught this class for 2 years now.
Mm-hmm.
Where were you before? What were you doing before?
Physics, full-time physics.
Full-time physics?
Yep.
And how have you liked the switch from physics to environmental science?
I love it. I still have 4 physics classes and 2 environmental science classes, so it's nice to branch out and do something different. And I'm learning too, and I've always loved to learn. I'm a lifelong learner, so this has been keeping me engaged as well.
So as a physics teacher, you overcame the inertia that besets some of us and moved to something new.
Yes.
All
yes,
right. Well, that's impressive, and I know you're doing a great job. The principal, as I was walking to your class, had so many nice things to say. And when I walked in, it was instantly engaging for me, and I didn't even know what was going on. But you can tell that great things are happening. So thanks for everything you're doing.
Thank you. Thanks for coming by.
Stay with us when we come back. More at Mountain Ridge High School.
Never miss an episode of the Supercast by liking and subscribing on your favorite podcasting platform. Find transcripts for this episode and others at supercast.jordandistrict.org.
In Jordan School District, we like to support students in and outside the classroom, along with their families. That's where the Jordan Family Education Center comes in, offering support services and a wide variety of classes for students and their families free of charge. You can take a class called Blues Busters for children feeling sad or worried. Just Breathe is a class that helps students reduce stress. Or how about a class that supports parents in helping their children make and keep good friends? There are also support groups and free counseling, all provided by Jordan School District school psychologists and counselors. To find out how you can benefit from free family support services offered by the Jordan Family Education Center, call 801-565-7442 or visit guidance.jordandistrict.org.
Hi guys.
How's it going?
We're talking with 3 students today from Mountain Ridge High School about their snails. Tell me, introduce yourself, tell me what grade you're in, and tell me about these snails a little bit.
I'm Sophie Burdett. I'm a senior.
I'm Camilla Lilo. I'm a junior.
I'm Clark Fowler, and I'm a senior.
I'm Chase Barlow, and I'm a junior.
And did you know each other well before this, or have the snails brought you together?
I think definitely the snails have brought us closer together through this unit.
Okay, well, that's a beautiful thing. So tell me about what this unit has involved and what you've learned.
So this unit was mostly about aquatic biomes and the factors that affect the biomes. And to make this snail biome, we started with an empty tank and we added gravel, algae, elodia, which are aquatic plants, microcrustaceans, 2 mystery snails, and then 4 smaller pond snails.
Oh, I see the micro animals right there. They are very active.
They really are.
It's kind of like when my dog sees us packing and they know we're going on a trip. These guys seem to know that something is up. Something's happening
They're
today.
attracted to attention. So.
Yeah, they want
I
it.
see.
And then afterwards, like before we change any factor about the tank, we kind of just like tested out how the water is before and how like the control system is before you change anything. And then we decided to add like more microcrustaceans to see like how that would change the aquatic biome.
And what are some of the changes that you've noticed as you introduced other factors into the biome?
Well, as you can see, they're a bit dense in population.
Yes, yes.
And highly active. Also, the water has gone a lot murky, which is not a good factor, but the snails seem to be hanging on. Yeah.
By hanging on, you mean still alive?
Surviving. Yeah.
Surviving. Yes, surviving this apocalyptic biodome that you have created. So tell me more about the snails.
Our 2 mystery snails that we have in there are Shaquille snail and then Brindley snail. Brindley snail was brought into our tank after her beloved partner died, and she was left with a clutch of babies, and so she was brought into this tank to kind of have the babies, have them hatch, and then
That's a
also
baby snail right there.
oh yeah,
Oh,
there's a
wow.
baby snail.
You see him?
Am I supposed to say that it's cute?
I don't, that's up for your,
Here, I'm going to use my phone to get a little bit of a closer look. Let's
we
see.
could also put him under the microscope.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that is
That's Paco.
very cute. Paco. That's
Every
Paco.
single one of them is Paco.
Everyone is Paco.
Every baby snail is Paco.
And where did that come from?
2 minutes ago when I made up the name.
Okay.
Yeah.
That seems. Well, so you went with what felt right.
Yeah.
And what I get Shaquille Snail, but why Brindley?
We weren't the ones to name her,
Oh.
so she kind of just came in Brindley.
She was Brindley.
She was
The
Brindley.
name chose her. You didn't choose the name.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
We had a Shelvis like Presley. Unfortunately, he passed away
Oh,
pretty
well,
early on.
That's unfortunate. You know, big stars sometimes shine bright and then burn out. I heard that Ms. Craig has described your particular project here as being healthy and gross at the same time. Tell me what that means.
Yeah, so basically she's talking about the fact that our tank is thriving a lot, like we have a lot of activity going on in there, but the ammonia levels are probably way too high to be healthy, and if you just look at it, it's not a very clear water. It's very murky and kind of gross. It doesn't smell very good either, so yeah.
How do you think the snails feel about their environment this morning, right now? If I could understand snail thinking.
Well, really putting myself in the snail's shoes, I would say like, dude, it's way too like crowded in here. Maybe we should get some more room, and maybe give them some more algae too, because they look a little pale and a little starved.
I would guess, though, that they appreciate your efforts to this point to make sure that their life is not only enjoyable but meaningful as well.
I would have to concur.
There is a lot of meaning to it. And on that note, what exactly have you learned from this? About science, about snails, about the world, and about each other.
Well, first of all, I think it's really cool that our teacher was willing to let us do this and kind of find out all about habitats on our own, because our tank was doing really poorly. We had a snail die, and then we had super high levels of ammonia, which is what happens when something dies. And then we said we can fix this, and so we added a bunch of other elements. We added microcrustaceans, we added the new snail, and we saw the change that came from it. So I just think it's cool that we got to see that firsthand and kind of do it ourselves.
So you apply some scientific knowledge of your own with some help, and you're able to make their world at least a better place.
Yeah.
And maybe that can apply more broadly. How about for you two? What did you learn from this?
I think it's really brought us four together. It's been very fun being co-parents in a very four-way over these hundreds of little critters.
Co-parents. I had not heard that term before.
Yeah.
Strangers to co-parents right away. It was beautiful.
Strangers to co-parents, the environmental science story. So tell me what happens next with these creatures.
For most people in our class, we're going to put them into a communal kind of tank. But I think since our tank has been doing so well on its own, and I think every part of this tank is really working together to create a really thriving biome, we're just going to keep them in this tank and see how they do.
We also have baby snails that are very sensitive to like outside forces. So switching tanks is just a really like risky move. So we think we're going to keep them in here. We're probably going to like donate some microcrustaceans to like the public tank, but other than that, they're just gonna stay in their little home.
Okay. Well, I can see that you want the best for all of these creatures, and luckily you have some scientific knowledge to help you create that. Now, I see that you have something mounted on the microscope over there. Can we take a look and see what's going on over there?
So that is it's a pregnant microcrustacean. So then like when they reproduce, like this is what they look for a little bit. So when you look in there, you're gonna be able to see the microcrustacean, and then you see all the little eggs inside of it because it's a transparent.
Okay. So the microcrustacean with really microcrustaceans inside of it.
Yes.
Okay, let's take a look. Oh wow, that is really something. It is moving, and it has 5 little babies. That is kind of cute.
There you go. He said it, not me.
Wow, that is really something. And wow, I'm really quite stunned by that. What is all the activity? It's just sitting there moving along. We are not. The babies are not in peril right now because of the petri dish, right?
No, I think we just fed them too much coffee.
So tell me, what are some of the conclusions that you have drawn from this experiment?
So our first hypothesis was asking of how microcrustaceans, a lot of them, if they're added, if they affect the dissolved oxygen, because after our first snail had passed away, we had a really big issue with dissolved oxygen and really low levels. And so we found out that once we added all of these microcrustaceans, our dissolved oxygen levels went back up to a very comfortable and healthy levels. We were watching our tank and it was on the brink of death. And then we added some microcrustaceans and it came back to life, which was really fun. We realized that as more organisms are in the environment, the more it survives and thrives, because without even the little critters like the microcrustaceans, which could be overlooked, an ecosystem really can't live and survive without them.
Are there some broader life lessons that you draw from this?
I guess we can really think back to the people in society or organisms in an ecosystem that really make up the functions of the ecosystem or society, and really give thanks back to them.
Everyone has a role to play, maybe.
Exactly.
As like we're learning this stuff, like it's a smaller scale and in a tank, but as we're learning these factors and learning the effects of them, we can take it growing up in our world today and really like understand how to make things better for our world and on all parts of our world, just like how this tank has parts of it. Like all parts of our world, we can benefit from just learning this stuff at a young age. So I'm grateful for this class personally. But
tell me what this class is like. It seems very engaging to me to be in Ms. Craig's class.
Yeah, I think it's pretty cool. Miss Craig is really, really good at the hands-on stuff. Whenever we're in this class, we're always doing something, learning something with our hands, with experience, which is really helpful for me to help me learn it, understand it better, and have it stick with me, which is going to be We're just going to be good because we have to take an AP test in May, and so we're going to need to remember as much as we can.
So you've had the urgency of the impending AP test and the urgency of keeping all these microorganisms alive that have kept you engaged and going and energized.
Exactly.
How about for you two? What has this class been like for you and being in Ms. Craig's class?
I think most of all, Miss Craig has really taught me how to like love learning and love science, especially because before this, I got her like back in 9th grade as well. Before this, I didn't really like science because it's like you sit down and you learn all these mathematical equations and you just learn and learn and learn. But to be able to like do something hands-on really teaches me that like as long as you like put effort in, even at like 7:30 in the morning, you can still like love these things. And I've come to like really love science because of her. So yeah, I'm just like really grateful for this class, like teaching me a new passion.
I mean, everyone else pretty much said it, but the hands-on experience, this is like the funnest science class I've ever taken. And applying it to the real world, which is pretty much all that environmental science is about, it's taking environmental issues and aspects and applying them to the real world and seeing how we can fix them. I think that's a really cool fact about the class, and Miss Craig is amazing. She's always walking around the room, and I can never find her because she's always looks like one of the students because she's the same height.
Yeah.
But she's always around talking, and she's right there talking to people about their snails, helping people out. But yeah, she's amazing.
Well, thank you very much. I like your chances on the AP test. Good luck with the rest of the year, and thanks for introducing me to Brindley and Shaquille Snail. And I'm sorry I never got to meet Shelvis Presley. Thanks for joining us on another episode of the Supercast. Remember, education is the most important thing you will do today. We'll see you out there.